Hi, I'm here to motivate you to see a dentist. No, not next week and not next month, but now, while you still have teeth to be checked. Statistics show that if you don't see a dentist regularly, there's a good chance you won't have very many teeth by the time you're 65. The choice is yours. You're in control of your own dental destiny. So come on, feel your power. Pick up the phone and dial 1-800-DENTIST right now. I knew you could do it.
Good morning. The killers at Columbine High School wanted to mow down hundreds of classmates, not just those who teased them, and hoped their crimes would be immortalized by Hollywood. Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris made a series of tapes before they went on their brutal rampage last April. We'll take a look at them today, Monday, December the 13th, 1999.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Today on this Monday morning. I'm Katie Couric.
And I'm Matt Lauer.
Wow, Matt, I don't know if you've had a chance to read the transcripts at all, but these tapes are absolutely chilling. They provide real insight into the minds of these two young men. A reporter at Time magazine got the opportunity to view these 5 tapes and worked with other people at Time magazine to write a cover story this week. We'll be talking with a senior editor at Time about these two boys, what they were thinking and what they had to say. Matt?
Then Americans beware. The State Department has issued a warning for Americans traveling overseas during the holiday season. They say they have information about possible terrorist attacks and that the information is credible. We'll get into that story in just a few minutes.
Also, the Reverend Billy Graham, one of my favorite people. He's so sweet. He never wants to be called Reverend or Mr. You have to call him Billy. So Billy will be here to talk about faith and spirituality as we approach the new millennium.
Our special correspondent, our new special correspondent, Sarah Ferguson, will join us with a profile of international singing sensation Andrea Bocelli.
And Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he's in this new movie, Man on the Moon. It's all about the life and career of Andy Kaufman. And, of course, the two of them work together in Taxi, so his perspective, I would imagine, is unusual.
Yeah, I bet. It'll be fun to hear from him. Anyway, we've got a busy Monday morning ahead, but first we want to head to the news desk. And Ann Curry. Ann, good morning.
Good morning to you, Katie and Matt, and to all of you this morning. First this morning, new developments in the case of Elian Gonzalez, the 6-year-old Cuban boy now in the U.S. During the night, sources told NBC News there is good progress in resolving the case. NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell is in Havana this morning.
What I've learned, Ann, is that later this morning, the father of Elian Gonzalez is going to finally meet with 2 American officials from the American mission here in Havana. They're going to travel to his small fishing village, some 80 miles east of town, and he is going to provide 17 crucial family documents to prove his paternity. He is doing this, we understand, from various sources, most likely after meeting with Fidel Castro on Sunday, with Castro giving him the latest guidance from the State Department on all of this. There is real concern here, especially after Juan Gonzalez tried to call his son on Sunday. He's been trying to talk to him every day and was unable to reach him because his extended family had taken the child to Disney World in Florida, in Orlando. And that is raising concerns here among the family and Cuban officials that the longer this drags out, the longer it becomes possible that the child will be influenced and perhaps will even say that he wants to stay in the United States. Ann?
NBC's Andrea Mitchell, thank you this morning. Elian Gonzalez has been in this country since Thanksgiving when he was found clinging to an inner tube off the coast of Florida after his boat sank. Well, on Sunday at the beginning of a boat ride at Disney World, he was tense, gripping his great uncle and asking, "Is the boat going to sink?" The State Department has a warning for Americans who are planning to be overseas for the new year. Be on guard against possible terrorism attacks. NBC's Pete Williams has more.
The State Department warning says international terrorists may be planning to use the celebrations surrounding New Year's as an opportunity to attack Americans in foreign countries.
We believe that it's important for Americans to be very vigilant when they're abroad and to get in touch with the American embassies and consulates there, and also to try to avoid large crowds.
The State Department's warning is not specific about where an attack could come, even though the government says the warning is based on information of an undisclosed specific threat. Issued over the weekend, it says terrorist attacks could be planned for locations throughout the world, where large gatherings and celebrations will be taking place. And it says Americans could be terrorist targets anytime from now through early January. Officials say they're particularly worried about possible attacks staged by followers of Osama bin Laden, who's accused of planning last year's bombings at U.S. embassies in Africa. But a former U.S. diplomat says other terrorists could be planning to use big celebrations to get attention for their causes.
And you might have anarchists, similar to what you had in the World Trade Organization meeting in Seattle, except with the terrorist side rather than a demonstration.
The State Department says it is not urging Americans to stay home, just to go out of their way to be cautious and avoid large celebrating crowds overseas. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
The 6 Republican presidential candidates meet for another campaign debate tonight, this one in Iowa. You can see tonight's debate live on MSNBC, hosted by NBC's Tom Brokaw. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC on cable. A hearing gets underway today to determine whether Linda Tripp will have to stand trial for secretly recording phone calls with Monica Lewinsky. Tripp has been indicted on a Maryland law that prohibits secret phone taping, but she has also been granted limited immunity by Ken Starr's office. The key issue at the hearing is when that immunity began. More information will be released today in the investigation into the crash of Egypt Air Flight 990. FBI agents have been gathering information about Gamil al-Batouti, the co-pilot suspected in the crash. Meantime, a new salvage ship is expected to leave Rhode Island for the crash site today to bring up all the wreckage possible. It is scheduled to stay at the crash site for a week. The sad recovery effort in Worcester, Massachusetts has ended. Over the weekend, the last of the 6 firefighters who died was pulled from the burned warehouse. Workers are now demolishing the building, but the anguish in the city remains. U.S. Surgeon General David Satcher reports today that 1 out of every 5 Americans experiences a mental disorder in any given year. His report also says half of all Americans have a mental disorder at some point in their lives, but that most never seek treatment because of the cost or fear of stigma. The report suggests that mental health should become a part of mainstream health care. With just 18 more days left in the 20th century, there is new evidence that a lot has changed in the last 100 years. Comparing the year 1900 with the year 2000, the Census Bureau says America's population has nearly quadrupled to 270 million people. Life expectancy is up dramatically for both men and women, up from 46 to 74 years for men and from 48 to 79 years for women. And the number of married women working outside the home has soared from 800,000 in 1900 to 34 million today. And finally now, there was a very close call in the skies over Florida on Sunday. 2 planes collided in midair, with both pilots then able to land safely, one plane on top of the other. Amazingly, no one was hurt. It is amazing. It is now 7:07. Let's turn back to Katie Matt now.
All right, Ann, thank you very much.
This doesn't look good, this little doodle you've drawn on the southeast here.
That's right. Bad news for our friends down there. Some heavy thunderstorms. In fact, the East Coast, we got dense fog advisories in the Mississippi Valley, freezing rain in the Northeast, travel delays down in the South with severe thunderstorms. For today, you can see those heavy thunderstorms. Wet weather working its way into the Northeast later today. Gale force winds continue to pound the Northwest. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning to you on this Monday. I'm Bruce Sussman with a look outside at the Rose City. 37 degrees right now, according to our Instant Weather Network. And on our satellite map, quite a few showers cruising across our skies. Mostly rain in the valley, but up in the Cascades, a winter storm warning in effect. Could be 2 feet of fresh snow by tonight at mountain pass levels. In the valley, showers today, the snow level above 1,000 feet, but temperatures in the 40s, so any accumulation melts right away.
It's 7:08. Now here's Katie.
Thank you, Al. On Close Up this morning, the Columbine tapes. Today's Time magazine reports that the 2 teenagers who opened fire at Columbine High School in April left behind home videos in which they described their plans for violence. According to the magazine, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold say in the tapes they hope to kill hundreds in a bloodbath that would have Hollywood directors fighting over their story. Specifically, they mentioned Steven Spielberg and Quentin Tarantino. On one tape, Klebold reportedly says, "I hope we kill 250 of you." The teenagers killed 12 students and a teacher at the Littleton, Colorado school before committing suicide. Nancy Gibbs wrote the Time cover story. Nancy, good morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Good morning, Katie.
Let me first ask you about your overall impressions of Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold in terms of their demeanor and their relationship with each other.
You know, for the investigators and for my colleague at Time, Tim Roche, who spent hours viewing these tapes, it was really disturbing. On the one hand, they would point their shotguns at the camera and threaten to make the worst mass murder in American history, which was their goal. And then they could very suddenly switch into laughing and joking with each other and complaining about the girls who didn't return their calls. And they talk about their anger almost as though it's a third person in the room, an accomplice that they can't quite control. And, you know, in a sense, Eric is the more articulate of the two, but it's clear as they talk that Dylan was just as angry a boy and that it was very much an equal partner to this.
Heretofore, I mean, a lot of people have suspected that Dylan Klebold was the follower, that Eric Harris was the instigator, basically, and that he sort of was the weaker person who kind of went along with the whole plan, but these tapes don't indicate that.
No, and we looked at the whole police investigation, and the ballistics reports as well suggest that even on the morning of the massacre that Dylan fired just as many shots.
Anything else, Nancy, that you've learned or gleaned from these tapes that are different than what our impressions have been before?
You know, everyone started, and the investigators started with the notion that these were sort of two neo-Nazi outcasts who just wanted revenge on the kids who had teased them to the point until they snapped. And the tapes, in a sense, confirm that, but they take you so much further, which is what is so disturbing. It turns out they were less preoccupied with Adolf Hitler than with Steven Spielberg.
Right, and we'll get to that in a moment. At one point, Dylan Klebold says, as I mentioned, I hope we kill 250 of you, and Eric Harris says it's going to be like blank and doom, tick, tick, tick. If there's a question about the impact of video games, or this particular video game had, I think the tapes answer that question, don't they?
They do. It is impossible to discount the impact when you listen to these boys talk. Their frame of reference ranges from the Old Testament to Shakespeare to video games, but it is clear that they hope to reenact the ultimate video game. And Harris named one of his shotguns after a character from the game Dune. He refers to his shotgun as Arlene. And it's very clear the direct impact that these games and the movies that they saw had on their planning.
Do they mention any movies in particular? Or?
We know that among their favorite movies were movies like Natural Born Killers and Reservoir Dogs, and some really very violent movies. And they are so steeped in the culture, in a sense. They're very aware of this role that they will play, and their quest for fame this is the path that they want to take. It's the most evil path they could have chosen.
You know, they apparently, Nancy, had quite an elaborate plan, which they outlined on these tapes, that really didn't come to fruition when the crimes actually, or the rampage actually took place.
That's right. And now that the investigators have really had a chance to put 10,000 pieces of evidence together, they were planning, it was a terrorist opera in 3 acts. They set bombs a couple miles away from the school that were meant to go off first, draw police away from Columbine, another set in the cafeteria that were meant to flush the kids out of the school into the parking lots where they were waiting with their guns.
Off, right?
And then a third set in their cars that were meant to go off last and kill the rescue workers who would be descending by this time on the school.
How long had they been planning this?
For about a year. And they go to great pains to say, let's get something straight. People are going to say we were just copycats because there had been the earlier school shootings in Oregon and Kentucky. They said, those guys didn't know what they were doing. We were original about this, essentially. We thought of this first, and this has nothing to do with those other school shootings.
In terms of seeking fame and fortune, at one point they say, isn't it fun to get the respect that we're going to deserve? Directors will be fighting over this story. And as I mentioned, they say they have a little talk about who's going to be the director.
Yeah, who they would trust to make their story.
Did they seem delusional when they were talking about this? I mean, did they really think that they would be celebrated in some big movie?
I think, the problem is that they were aware that, we have reached a point where fame is completely detached from merit. It wasn't that they thought that they were going to be celebrated, just that they would be unforgettable for what they were planning to do.
Ironically, the only people they talk about with any fondness is their parents. And we've got some excerpts from what they talk about their parents. They say, there's nothing you guys could have done to prevent this. Dylan Klebold says, I'm sorry, I have so much rage. At another point in time, they go on and talk about explaining Eric Harris why he doesn't want to be close to his parents. I don't want to spend any more time with them. I wish they were out of town so I didn't have to look at them and bond with them more. Yeah. It's interesting because at one point Eric Harris even says, actually, let me correct myself, Dylan Klebold says his parents are great parents.
They both do. They say that they had great parents, that nothing their parents could have done would have prevented this. And, you know, Harris says, you know, I realize this is really lousy to do them. This is going to ruin their lives. It's going to make their lives hell on earth. They're going to be so shocked by what we've done. And what's horrible listening to that is that, you know, we sort of imagine that anyone who's capable of doing something like this must be a sociopath who's incapable of feeling remorse. As they sit there expressing their remorse towards their parents, even as they are going about a rampage that was completely pitiless, that they were able to hold these two things in their heads at the same time.
At one point, they predict what their parents will say after watching the tape. And Dylan Klebold says, if only, the parents are going to say to themselves, if only we could have reached them sooner or found this tape. And they feel terrible that the parents don't know about it, and I guess they empathize with the feelings. And then Eric says, if only we would have searched their room, if only we would have asked the right questions. At the same time, I know in the tapes, Nancy, they mock their parents for not picking up certain clues.
You know, they were very proud of the performance they were able to put on. Again, there was something about, for a whole year, they were sitting in classrooms and in the cafeteria with kids that they were planning to kill, and were able to hide their intentions. And from their own parents, you know, at one point, Klebold was trying on his trench coat, and his mother walked into the room, and he had his shotgun hidden underneath it. And, you know, she had no clue. At another point, Harris's mother sees him going down the stairs with his gym bag with the shotgun sticking out of it, and thought it was his BB gun, and didn't think anything of it.
And at one point, a gun store called and said, we have your clips. And Eric Harris's father said, I didn't order any clips. And Eric Harris says on the tape, if he had just asked him, what number are you calling, or a few more questions, that they would have been cooked. Their whole plan would have fallen apart.
They came very close to getting caught a number of times, to the point that you wonder, of course, you know, if they wanted to. If you look at Harris's website, which was up, you know, for months before the massacre, so much of this was there, and his desire, not only the names and dimensions of his pipe bombs, but his desire to kill people and to take revenge on people who he felt had looked down on him over the years. It was all there to be seen if you were looking for it.
And of course, many people are asking, why wasn't this picked up earlier?
Right.
Well, Nancy Gibbs, it's a terrible story, but I guess an important one as people evaluate what made these kids do what they did. And you can read the full story, by the way, in this week's issue of Time magazine. Nancy, thanks so much.
Nice to see you, Katie.
Nice to see you, too. It's 7:17. Now here's Matt.
All right, Katie, over the weekend, the State Department issued a warning to Americans traveling abroad that terrorists may be planning attacks at large holiday gatherings. Brian Jenkins is a consultant to the RAND Corporation on Terrorism. Mr. Jenkins, good morning to you.
Good morning.
This isn't the first warning we've heard from the State Department as of late. As a matter of fact, there have been a couple of others in the past half year or so. Is there a feeling, though, this should be taken more seriously because of these end-of-the-millennium gatherings?
Well, I think there's a bit of millennial anxiety, as well as some belief that the information they have now may be more credible than the normal volume of noise that we hear about terrorism.
As you say, the State Department calls this credible information. Is there any indication that it is also specific information?
It's difficult to say how specific the information is. Of course, what was passed on to the public is extremely vague. It covers the entire globe. It gives a month time span. And the advice that it offers is extremely general. So it's difficult to infer from this what specifically they may know. Obviously, they do have some specific information and probably are working with local authorities in an attempt to thwart any terrorist attack.
But if they were to divulge any more specific information, they would be putting at risk or placing at risk valuable contacts in this matter.
That's a possibility. The problem is also that there is a high volume of noise. Terrorists are constantly planning terrorist attacks, are constantly talking about attacks. So if one has information sources, there is a constant flow of information. It's difficult often to discern what will turn out to be a credible threat and what is simply more noise.
Yeah, let me talk about that, because there is a high level of noise. You would have to assume as Americans these days that there is always someone out there around the world plotting something against the United States. So do you think that this warning is necessary?
I don't know how useful it is. There has been, as you have mentioned, a number of recent threats. By my count, there have been at least 10 travel advisories issued by the State Department during the last 90 days. 6 of these refer to specific countries. 4 of them now are worldwide in their scope. They cover a period beginning in October in terms of the worldwide ones up through mid-January. That is covering a quarter of a year. Certainly during that time, some things have happened already, minor terrorist incidents in some parts of the world. There's a possibility of more terrorist incidents. There's hundreds of terrorist incidents every year.
So briefly, and the question I guess we should end on is, so what can Americans do who are traveling overseas? And should we only be concerned about traveling overseas and not about life here in the U.S.?
Well, the reality here in the United States is that the homicide rate in many American cities, including, regrettably, our nation's capital, is much higher than the murder rates in some of the rougher areas of the world, certainly than most cities of the world. Insofar as what Americans can do, I don't think this requires, this particular announcement suggests that one alter one's plans. I don't know how particularly useful advice is during millennium celebrations or Christmas shopping or attending religious observances during the holidays to avoid large gatherings is. The fact is that terrorist attacks like this do not translate into high risk to the general population. What I mean by that is the possibility of a terrorist attack doesn't automatically mean that every American traveling abroad faces a high degree of risk. Probably the best advice is to drive carefully on the way to the airport.
Brian Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, thanks.
Thank you.
It's 7:21. We're back on a Monday morning, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Every Christmas, I think there was always something special each one of us would get as a gift. For me, one year, I got a watch. It wasn't just any watch. It came on a statue of Alice in Wonderland, and it was far more than I had expected. It's 35 years later, and to me, it still seems like this was yesterday.
Remember the joy of opening presents? The Northwest News Channel 8 Great Toy Drive. Donate today and share that joy with a child. Sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Hello, I'm Doc Wagwell with a dynamic dog fact. A dog's nasty snacking habits will never give him a healthy skin or coat. Huh? It's true. That's why I'm introducing new Wagwell's treats, made with real beef dogs naturally love. Plus vitamins for healthy skin and a shiny coat. Left to their own devices, dogs cannot choose a smart snack. Voila. So you have to do it for them. For healthy skin and a shiny coat, treat your dog right with new Wagwells.
Right now at Circuit City, you'll save on great gifts for everyone on your list. Like this JVC compact VHS camcorder with picture stabilization for jitter-free recording, just $299.99. Get this RCA VCR with VCR Plus and remote that operates most TVs, just $79.99. And stock up on Memorex VHS tape, now just $7.99 for a 10-pack. Great gifts and super low prices. Right now at Circuit City.
If your table could speak, what tales it would tell. Of great holiday meals, the life of your family told in the sharing of great food. Of old recipes handed down from one generation to another. And no doubt you're very particular about the food that graces your table. Just like the store that's been serving families for over 75 years. Great food at lower prices every day. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Interesting, I was talking to Nancy Gibbs about the journalistic quandary of putting these 2 boys on the cover of Time magazine, which is an interesting story in and of itself.
Upsetting to a lot of people in Littleton, I would imagine.
That's right. Meanwhile, still to come this morning, the Reverend Billy Graham will be here to share his thoughts with us as we come to the end of the millennium.
And a little later, special correspondent Sarah Ferguson sits down with singing superstar Andrea Bocelli, and Willard sits down with people who've seen the whole century. It's after these messages in your local news.
Get e-toys, and it will come to you.
Menopause affects you in more ways than one. That's why new Caltrate Plus Soy does more. It has soy isoflavones to help ease the effects of menopause and the calcium you need to help fight menopausal bone loss. New Caltrate Plus Soy, the Caltrate for menopause.
Now at Zales, we're introducing the Movado Harmony Collection, priced at $495. Even though it's new, it will soon become, like all Movado watches, a classic. At Zales stores or shop online at zales.com.
People have fallen in love with the scent of Gain Laundry Detergent. A scent that's clean, bold, and invigorating. And now that fresh scent is in Bounce. Try new Bounce with Gain Fresh Scent and fall in love with our boldest bounce ever.
You are in the fight of your life. Just you against your smoking addiction, one-on-one. Trouble is, it's not a fair fight, and few people win it. But you can give yourself a fighting chance to win with Zyban. Zyban doesn't work for everyone. Zyban is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor to help you stop smoking. It's different from nicotine replacements. Zyban is the only prescription medicine that's nicotine-free, so you don't have to stop smoking all at once. As Zyban reduces your cravings, you feel like smoking less and less until you're ready to stop completely because you're ready to win. You should know there is a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you have or have had a seizure or eating disorder, or if you take Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you use an MAO inhibitor. Side effects may include dry mouth and difficulty sleeping. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you because it can help you quit smoking by making it a fight you can win. Zyban, you don't have to quit all at once.
Monet, Picasso, Matisse, Chagall. These are just some of the world-famous artists whose major works of art you'll be able to see at the Portland Art Museum, November 21st through January 23rd in Monet to More, the Millennium Gift of Sara Lee Corporation. Portland is one of only 3 museums in the U.S. honored to host this spectacular collection. For more information and tickets, call 226-2811. Presented by Fred Meyer and News Channel 8.
What's on your list today?
Chop wood.
Change light bulbs.
Furnace filters.
Smoke alarms.
Fix gutters.
Clean the garage.
Weather stripping.
Clean the garage.
You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
You've got a lot of things to do this time of year, and they can add up to lots of time and money. So come to Freddy's and save on everything you need for home projects.
You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Can I help?
News Channel 8 can also be seen on these local translators. This is a News Channel 8 update.
And good morning, everyone. On this Monday, I'm Kelly Love. It is 7:27, 37 degrees outside. Here is what's making news. William Dubois is a person of interest in the murder of Keith Dornan, the husband of a Milwaukee police officer. Well, Dubois is in jail this morning for a parole violation. Officers are now looking for a second person of interest, 18-year-old Jason Willey. Today, a judge in Salem is going to hear arguments about a controversial sex offender website. Their proposed website would post the pictures and addresses of about 8,500 registered sex offenders in the state. The legislature authorized the Oregon State Police to put the information on the internet, but then the judge put it on hold after a group of offenders and their families sued. We'll keep you posted on what happens today. Let's tune in with Bill Diaz, who's taking a look at our traffic. Bill?
Well, thank you, Kelly. It's been slow inbound on Airport Way because of an accident between I-205 and the terminal. Very slow traffic continues in Vancouver, I-5 southbound from 4th Plain down across the bridge and through Delta Park. More slowing right near the Fremont Bridge where they're doing that road work on the top deck of the Fremont Bridge. Inbound on the Sunset Highway, pretty big traffic jam this morning. Starts back at 185th, most of the way to the top of the Sylvan Hill. For the Les Schwab Today Show Traffic Report, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecast, here is Bruce Sussman.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. Here's First Alert Live, Doppler 8000 radar. Some heavy snow showers over the Coast Range right now, including Highway 26. All of this will move shortly into the Portland area in the form of rain. Meanwhile, heavy snow warning in the Cascades. Could be 2 feet of snow there by tonight. Showers, rain showers in the valley today with a few snowflakes above 1,000 feet. Temperatures, the mid-40s. Kelly?
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for watching. We'll have another update in 25 minutes.
This News Channel 8 segment brought to you by Les Schwab Tires.
If you want to go where the road ends and life begins, then head to your Northwest Ford store for the best selection of sport utility vehicles on the planet. Like Explorer, the best-selling SUV in its class, with control-track four-wheel drive and available V8. Right now, get $1,000 cash back on a huge selection of 2000 Explorers. Plus, with 3.9 financing, save over $2,700 in interest. When it comes to SUVs, your Northwest Ford store is your outfitter.
The seasons march on. That's why people who depend on the weather depend on News Channel 8's First Alert Storm Team. Backed by the power of live Doppler 8000, Joe Satilli and Matt Safino lead the Northwest's largest, most experienced team of forecasters. The First Alert Storm Team, only on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
Now on this Monday morning. It's the 13th day of December, 1999. Another enormous holiday crowd gathered outside Studio 1A in Rockefeller Center here because, of course, the Christmas tree, the world-famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, of course, because of Al Roker, who puts a star on the top of his head every time this time of year and goes out and greets his fans. We're going to go outside a little later on and say hi to these nice people. Meanwhile, back inside the upper level of Studio 1A in Rockefeller Center, I'm Matt Lauer, along with Katie Kirk.
Hello.
Hello. And coming up in this half hour, presidential contender Bill Bradley, he was sidelined briefly over the weekend by a heart problem, an irregular heartbeat. We're going to find out how serious that is, and we're going to tell you what to do if you might have the same problem.
Also, Danny DeVito, Matt, will be along to tell us about his new movie, Man on the Moon, about his old Taxi co-star, Andy Kaufman.
And later, the Reverend Billy Graham will be here to talk about the end of this millennium and the beginning of the next one. And Sarah Ferguson will be here. She has a profile of Andrea Bocelli. But first, it's time to head downstairs for the headlines of the morning with Ann Curry.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Good morning once again, everybody. U.S. officials are taking a step toward resolving the custody dispute with Cuba over a 6-year-old boy. Sources tell NBC News they will have a meeting with the boy's father this morning in Cuba. Sunday, Disney World rolled out the red carpet for Elian Gonzalez and about 30 members of his extended family. 2 of the boy's relatives have requested political asylum for him in the U.S. All 6 Republican presidential hopefuls are in Iowa today. Tonight, they will meet in Des Moines for their final debate of the year. President Clinton is recuperating from a case of the flu, and as a result, he has canceled a fundraising trip in Houston today. Now, here's Tom Brokaw with a look at what's coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News.
Thanks, Ann. You'll see me from Iowa tonight, the site of another Republican presidential debate. Also, when the kids are gone and the adults get to play, why are so many doing this for a vacation? The risks are real, but so are the rewards. So we'll have that in the rest of the day's news tonight. Ann?
All right, Tom, thank you. And in Sunday night football, the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Minnesota Vikings 31-28, and the win makes the Chiefs now even with Seattle for first place in the AFC West. Those are the headlines at 7:32. Time for the weather now, and Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Toysmart.com, a proud sponsor of Toys for Tots.
And a huge crowd on a Monday here, and look at this. All around the plaza they come. Oh, and they've all brought toys for our toy drive, which is really nice. Oh, we got a young man here. Your name Jason Morris, right?
That's correct.
Jason, and you've got a new magazine out?
I sure do. It's called Real Judo.
That's right. And you were just named to the U.S. Olympic Judo team.
That's right, for the 4th time. Thank goodness.
So what does the chances look like for the judo team in the Olympics this year?
Well, this guy right here is a good chance for the gold.
All right. Well, that's great. And who's this lovely lady you have here with you?
This lady is my...
why don't you come over?
Come over,
What's your name?
Terry.
Hey, Terry. Oh, well, Terry, nice to meet you. How long have you guys known each other?
About 12 years.
Wow, that's a long time. That's a long time.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I think you'd want to do something about that.
Yes, I do. Matter of fact...
Oh, can I hold
these 1 second?
Sure.
First, I want to thank you for being with me through 4 Olympics, being with me through the death of my father. Whoa! Terry, will you marry me?
You jerk. Did you say you jerk?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty romantic. That's better than a yes. Have you been waiting for this for a while, Terry?
Well, 12, almost 13 years.
Had you given up?
Yeah.
What took you so long?
Well, we kept saying after the next Olympics, and I, instead of waiting until after the next one, I said...
When you're in a chair or something. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're going to get married before the Olympics?
It's up to her.
Not another 12 years. All right, well, congratulations
Thank
to
you
the
very
both of
much.
you. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
To you, it is a Monday, and if you were hoping to get out of work or school because of snow, maybe next time. That's about the best I can do. We do have a lot of shower activity and cold air coming in off the Pacific. However, the snow will mainly be confined to the mountains. The Coast Range will see some snow, and also the Cascades, a winter storm warning in effect for heavy snow today. For the Willamette Valley, showers, mostly rain, and a few snowflakes above 1,000 feet.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, open up the ring. Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Look at that. Ooh. Ah. Judo chop. All right. Congratulations to the both of you. Let's head back inside to Matt.
All right, Al, thank you. Bill Bradley has returned to the campaign trail after taking less than 24 hours off to treat an irregular heartbeat. We asked NBC's chief medical correspondent, Bob Arnott, to come and tell us what that really means. Bob, good morning to you.
Morning, Ed.
Atrial fibrillation. What exactly is it?
This is the main pumping chamber of the heart called the ventricle. There's a booster pump, which is called the atrium, which you don't absolutely need. But what happens is that there's this irregular rhythm that stops it from beating forcefully. What that means is that a blood clot can form in it because there's sort of you might think of a stagnant pool of blood. When that blood clot is let loose, it goes up into the carotid arteries and can cause a stroke. And this happens in 80,000 Americans a year.
But it's the worst case scenario for something like this because we should mention that a lot of people live with irregular heartbeats and live very normal lives.
If they're treated properly, and recent studies out of Mass General show that many patients are on older medications, as is Bill Bradley, and that many patients do not get the proper anticoagulant treatment, meaning that they have a blood thinner. Now, Bill Bradley does use a blood thinner, which is basically aspirin, which for his particular age group is adequate.
So this medication, Procanib, you say it's an old medication. Why hasn't it been updated?
Many times doctors just treat by tradition. They're used to it. Sometimes patients simply do better with a certain medication than another. He may have tried others. We don't know from his medical history.
Other than the risk of stroke, what are the long-term implications for the heart muscle in someone who suffers from this?
If this is inadequately treated, so you run a very high rate over a long number of years, it's the biggest new cause of congestive heart failure. And what's interesting, too, is that this is a condition that is now being seen as a mini epidemic among pro basketball players.
Why is that?
They run what we call a very high vagal tone, and that's a medical term that simply means that this vagus nerve drives their heart rate to a very low sort of pulse. We see it in many very fit athletes. And because of this, this is what we call a breakaway rhythm. That is, you tend to have this in someone who, paradoxically, is extremely fit.
Obviously, what he's doing right now, running for president, the eventuality that he may someday be president, high stress levels, does that impact this condition?
If you're in a great deal of stress and not taking your medication, in theory, you may be able to provoke this condition, but it's very important to say that with his level of fitness at his particular age, it's extremely unlikely that this would impact him. Very unlikely he would have a stroke, and very unlikely that in the middle of a big event, say a peace treaty, that he would have to sort of duck out and have treatment. The treatment in his particular case could be delayed for a crucial national event. So it should, as his doctors say, have no impact on his presidency if he's
Again, the
elected.
key. Keep taking that medication.
Very important condition.
Dr. Bob Arnott. Bob, thanks very much. 7:38, here's Katie.
Matt, thanks. Staying with politics for a moment, the 6 Republican presidential contenders meet again tonight in Iowa for another debate. All eyes will be on Texas Governor George W. Bush, whose 2 previous debate performances have raised some new questions about the GOP frontrunner. NBC's Lisa Myers reports.
And I think
12 Republicans, all planning to vote in Iowa's caucuses next month. An educator, insurance agent, investor, cab driver, businessmen, homemakers, and managers.
No ifs, ands, or buts. I want the Democrat out of the White House.
The group put together by Republican pollster Frank Luntz generally likes George W. Bush, who still has a big lead here.
Electability.
Next president.
Very conservative.
Leadership.
Straightforward.
Conservative.
They do have concerns about Bush, but surprisingly not the ones in the headlines about his grasp of issues.
My concern is not that he is an empty suit. It's that's what they're trying to hammer him with. With the intellectual lightweight thing, that's what they tried to hammer Reagan with. And I don't think anybody here would disagree that he's been the best thing that came down the pipe.
They are members of the media. All these Republicans dismiss suggestions Bush might not have the intellectual heft to be president as an invention of the media.
Does he have what it takes to be a good president?
Yes. Yes.
Is Bush a smart guy?
If he doesn't know an answer, he's smart enough to get somebody that does.
Their biggest worry? Not that Bush lacks intelligence, but that he lacks convictions.
He really hasn't come out and strongly stood for anything in my mind.
He kind of talks a little bit Clinton-esque.
He's more of a politician than anything else, and he comes in and you get a warm and fuzzy from him, but that's about what you get.
Does it surprise you, though, that voters so easily dismissed questions about whether Bush has the intellectual prowess to be president?
The voters here that we've listened to are more concerned about whether he's going to remain conservative than whether he knows the president of some European country. And I was honestly surprised about that.
Which is why the main threat to Bush here is from the right. Publisher Steve Forbes, well-organized and running second in the polls.
When I hear Forbes talk about something, I don't just hear him say, yes, this is a problem, and yes, I'm going to do my best. I hear him give me what he's going to try to do, and I don't hear that from Bush. I don't feel like I'm hearing that from him.
The person that really says what I want to hear is Forbes.
So far, Senator John McCain, now leading in New Hampshire, is a distant third here, having spent little time in the state.
Media loves him.
War hero.
Unknown.
As for the general election and the Democrats, two of these Republicans say they'd consider voting for Bill Bradley next fall. But Al Gore is out of the question. Tainted, they say, by Bill Clinton.
One word or phrase to describe Al Gore.
Evil light.
He's an extremist.
Dance.
Idiot.
Incompetent.
However, the Republican Congress doesn't get great reviews either.
Scary. Overpaid.
Bought, paid for. Lacking conviction.
Even among Republicans, the Republican Congress does not have a very favorable image.
This should send shudders down the backs of congressional leaders.
Congressional leaders who are counting on Bush's long coattails to help maintain control of Congress. But first, he must win the nomination. What does Bush need to do in the debate?
Let them know what you really think, what you really feel. He's got to show emotion.
And walk an ideological tightrope. The challenge for Bush, be conservative enough for Iowa's very conservative caucus goers without alienating independents who see him as comfortably middle of the road. For today, Lisa Myers, NBC News, Des Moines.
And a quick reminder that tonight's presidential debate, moderated by Tom Brokaw, can be seen live on MSNBC at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It is 7:42. Up next, Danny DeVito. Hey, you.
How you doing, kiddo?
But first, these messages.
Hi, everybody.
What do you think?
It's a barn.
Actually, Dad, it's more of an impressionist piece like Monet's flowers at Giverny.
Toysmart.com. Thousands of good toys at great prices. And for a limited time, free shipping.
So, I suppose this is the post-impressionist piece.
No, that's me on a bike.
No one has done more to save people money.
Good morning. Hey.
I've worked with a lot of CEOs, none like him.
At CoolSavings.com, we have the best deals on our internet site, and he's solely responsible for all of it.
He's sharp, he's decisive.
A great travel offer.
Great.
Insurance.
Good.
As the CEO, he could teach anybody about saving money. It's truly amazing.
He's a genius. I wish I could be like him someday.
Good night.
Savings online and in stores. CoolSavings.com. Save, then shop.
Every year, LensCrafters runs Gift of Sight missions to bring sight to needy people around the world.
We change lives with these glasses.
And the more we collect, the more people we can help.
Please bring us your used glasses today.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Discover Estee Lauder Pleasures.
For sinus sufferers, it can start with a twinge or perhaps a slight pressure. For everyone, there's a signal. Your sinuses are gonna be trouble. Don't let it happen. Take Sudafed at the first sign. Untreated sinus pressure can escalate to pain. But now, taking Sudafed at the first sign releases pressure, so symptoms don't get worse.
The first sign of pressure, that's my signal.
Stop sinus pain before it starts. Take non-drowsy Sudafed at the first sign.
Comedian Andy Kaufman made a career out of playing practical jokes on the entire world, and now his offbeat antics are captured in the new movie Man on the Moon. Danny DeVito, who co-starred with Kaufman on the hit sitcom Taxi, not only produced this film, he also plays Kaufman's real-life manager, George Shapiro.
So, I understand you're from Lithuania.
No, I am from Caspiar.
Caspiar, huh?
It is a very small island in the Caspian Sea. It sunk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, look, probably out of my mind, but I think you're very interesting. And if you ever need representation, we should talk.
Okay.
Mr. Shapiro. Wow. It is an honor, sir.
Caspiar, huh?
Danny DeVito, welcome back.
Nice to be back, Matt.
Let me start with a question you probably can't answer, but for those who weren't familiar with his work, who was Andy Kaufman?
Well, who was he? Well, this is the thing. Andy was an enigma. He was a puzzle. I mean, I don't know if anybody really knows really deep down what was going on inside Andy Kaufman. I mean, what we saw was a guy who was really consumed by his work, his art. Every day, everything he did had to do with, he was an entertainer, let's put it that way. He didn't call himself a comedian or an actor. He was a performance artist. So, but what was inside, what was going on, I think he was trying to entertain people.
But even through all the time working with him on Taxi, you never sat down with him and had a real conversation?
No, not a. This is not in Andy's makeup. I mean, we hung out like we had every night, every Friday night we did the show. Taxi was a very close-knit family, wonderful bunch of people. We would have a party. Andy would come. He would be polite. He's a very sweet guy, very polite, very gentle guy. He would come to the party out of respect. He'd have a glass of juice or a bottle of soda or something like that, and he would stay for a while and leave.
Did you respect him as an actor?
Oh, yeah, well, yes. Well,
because there were a lot of his antics and his demands that made it difficult on the set, I know.
Yeah, well, like I said, he wasn't an actor, so it wasn't the kind of thing where you could say, okay, Andy, he didn't rehearse. So we rehearsed from Monday to Friday. Andy would come in on Thursday. He wasn't really comfortable in that situation. So he would move around the set, and if you had to hit a mark, he would usually get there. Sometimes if he didn't, so it was easy for me. I played Louis De Palma. I was belligerent. I could yell at people. If Andy was up by the cab and I needed him down by the table, I said, Latka, get down here, so bring him over. See, it was a kind of a unique, but if you had to go with it, you had to go with it. One had to go with it to enjoy it, and I did. And I think in Man on the Moon, we capture all of that kind of whimsy and the edginess and the comedy and also the poignancy of what happened to the guy.
As I mentioned, you played George Shapiro, his longtime real-life manager.
Really, yeah.
Here's another scene from Man on the Moon.
Party time for Latka?
Not until you take off those overalls.
This is a good party.
No. Lock, listen to me. There's a drug in those cookies.
No.
Yeah. No.
No.
Bet?
I've never emotional in all my life.
And this is for my mother. And this is for my father. And this is for my grandfather.
I hope you have a small family. Yep! Jadi si kata pagkalako badagi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Did Carey nail this guy?
He nailed Andy. I mean, really big time. I spent 5 years with Andy on Taxi, and you know, Andy passed away. You know, suddenly. I mean, out of the blue. I mean, in fact, everybody thought. You know the stories. We all thought it was a joke, that he wasn't really sick, and
one of his acts.
And I wish it was true. But when Jim came along to do this part with Milos and I and everybody else who really cared about Andy, he really got into it so deeply, and so did such study, and he really channeled Andy. I mean, he brought Andy back to us in an odd way. Last summer when we were working on the movie, every day I could go to the set and I could be with Andy again. It was just like being with Andy again.
Jim Carrey says he didn't get out of this character for 3 months. The movie is called Man on the Moon.
That's right. It opens December 22nd.
Danny DeVito, always good to have you here.
Thanks a lot, man.
7:50, we're back on a Monday morning right after these messages.
We got a dog for the kids. Okay, so I became attached.
Dad!
So my wife called it obsessive. I just wanted the perfect food for my dog. Talked to the vet, talked to the breeder, read books. Okay, 2 words. Go shopping. That's how I found Purina One brand lamb and rice formula. First ingredient, lamb. I think we found our dog food. Me, obsessive? I don't think so. Purina One, second to none.
Brad, I want Pop Goes the Weasel for Christmas.
The book to give this Christmas.
No socks, no Christmas ties. Pop Goes the Weasel.
Peter, listen closely. Pop Goes the Weasel.
Kids, give Mommy Pop Goes the Weasel.
It's only natural for your lips to seek comfort. Now Mother Nature provides it. New Blistex Herbal Answer goes beyond protection to soothe and hydrate with herbal extracts, including aloe, chamomile, shea butter, avocado, and jojoba. New Blistex Herbal Answer, the soothing herbal alternative.
Abracadabra.
Where is my favorite nephew?
You rely on Amazon.com for an incredible selection of toys. Amazon.com relies on priority mail to get it there fast and to save you money.
There you are. A magic set? Show your auntie a magic trick.
Disappearing ant not included. What's your e-priority?
Fly like an eagle.
Filling up, laying all the sand on the edge. Goodbye, ants. Oh, Mrs. Witherbottom, you're looking lovely today. Would you like more tea?
Ever wonder where kids go to when they dream?
I would again.
Toys R Us, the one place that's all for them.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Office Depot, taking care of business.
Ralph? Ralph, come here. Give me a hand. Good boy. Thanks.
Scotch Brand brings you pop-up tape strips. They free up both hands, so wrapping's never been easier. Pop-up tape strips from Scotch Brand.
And still to come this morning, the Reverend Billy Graham will be here to reflect on where we are spiritually on the eve of the new millennium.
And our special correspondent, Sarah Ferguson, profiles the Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli. But first, your local news.
With its spacious interior and serious sound system. The 2000 Ford Focus
There's a party waiting to happen.
More reasons to shop Pier 1 now. Hundreds of great gift ideas.
For everyone on your list. Great gifts.
Great style.
Great value.
All at Pier 1, only at Pier 1.
It's time to shop.
At Pier 1, the gift place.
America Online introduces new version 5.0.
The easiest just got easier. Email pictures.
All my friends are on AOL.
Instant messages.
We spent over $1 billion to create the largest high-speed network.
They just keep making it better and better.
AOL new 5.0. Sign up today.
To help you find just the perfect gifts, here at Gifts.com, we test all kinds of gift ideas.
Tried the grinder?
Grinder's good.
Coffee maker?
Maker's marvelous.
Would you beg for the blue bowl?
This would make a nice gift. It'd make a wonderful gift.
So when you're looking for just the right gift, come to Gifts.com. Tell us about the people you're shopping for, and we'll tell you about some great gifts. Gifts.com, just the perfect gifts. Register now at Gifts.com and get $10 off your next purchase of $50 or more.
Of all the things that are good with honey, the best may be Honey Cough, the only line of cough drops and cough syrup that combine effective medicine with real honey. Honey Cough, a natural choice for coughs. From Robitussin.
It's not just another Christmas. It's the Christmas that marks the end of the century and the beginning of a new millennium. To commemorate this most important holiday, Teleflora chose one of America's most beloved artists, Charles Wysocki, to create our exclusive Wysocki Christmas Bowl Bouquet. Make it a Christmas to remember. Give someone a lifetime of memories. Call or visit your Teleflora.
Just in time for the holidays at Circuit City. Get an instant $400 toward any Circuit City purchase when you sign up for 3 years of CompuServe 2000 Premier Internet Service, only $21.95 per month. Just sign up at Circuit City, and we'll hand you a $400 merchandise card instantly, good toward anything in our store. Apply your $400 merchandise card to a computer, camcorder, big screen TV, or refrigerator. It's $400 of whatever you want, only at Circuit City.
Ben Bridge presents the Raymond Weil Ladies Chorus with Austrian Crystal Dial. The Raymond Weil Tango with brilliant blue dial. Dazzle them this holiday season. Think inside the box.
The Diamond People, Ben Bridge.
News Channel 8 can also be seen on these local translators. This is a News Channel 8 update.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Love at 7:56 on this Monday morning. 37 degrees outside. Here's what's making news. A deadly fishing boat accident out at Newport may have an environmental impact as well. The boat's captain died in that sinking last week. Another crewman is presumed dead. The vessel was carrying 7,000 gallons of diesel fuel. Divers plugged fuel tank vents on the wreck, but some oil continues to bubble up. Officials today are conducting surveys to determine the impact on wildlife. If you're going to be out traveling between the coast and Portland this morning, here's something you should know about. Starting today, Oregon Highway 18 is going to be closed for 3 days out near Grand Ronde. Road crews will be doing landslide repair work there, and during the closure, motorists will be detoured out to Highway 22. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic this morning with Bill Diaz. Bill?
Well, thank you, Kelly. We want to warn you about a wreck this morning. It's on Highway 217 southbound, right under the Progress overpass. You can see the slow traffic on the right side of your screen because of that wreck, so allow extra time there. Meanwhile, in Vancouver, we've had very heavy traffic this morning, slowing from about Mill Plain now down across the Interstate Bridge and all the way through Delta Park. For the Les Schwab Today Show traffic report, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecast, here is Bruce Sussman.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. Here's what's going on. More showers headed for the Portland area. You can see across the Coast Range right now some heavy rainfall, and that'll be moving into the Portland area before too long. In the Coast Range, it's snow, actually. But for us outside right now, well, things are on the cool side, but not freezing. 37 degrees right now, according to our Instant Weather Network. The forecast today for the Willamette Valley, showers with a few snowflakes mixed in. Any accumulation strictly above 1,000 feet. Kelly?
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in 25 minutes.
This News Channel 8 segment brought to you by Les Schwab Tires.
The rain, the snow, the ice, tough weather needs tough traction. At Les Schwab, we've just made the largest special purchase of snow tires in our company's history. We're passing the savings on to you. In traction, our best selection ever. All seasons to all tracks. Winter tracks, HK1, Snowflex. For a studded tire alternative, ask about the Observe. To save time and money, Les Schwab Snow Wheels. If you need them, quick fit tire chains, batteries, Les Schwab's XHD. Winter driving starts at the Les Schwab side.
On my Schwinn Stingray bicycle. Boy, did I think I was cool. Anything to me on Christmas Day brought a smile. Even the littlest things. The smiles I see in these pictures, I'd love to see on as many kids' faces as possible. That's what it's all about.
Remember the joy of opening presents? The Northwest News Channel 8 Great Toy Drive. Donate today and share that joy with a child. Sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
We're back at 8 o'clock on this Monday morning. It is the 13th day of December, 1999. And you're looking at a huge group of folks who've gathered in Rockefeller Plaza this morning to get into the holiday spirit. Easy to do with that magnificent tree that is the bane of our existence. I'm kidding.
We love it.
The tree.
Love the tree.
But a lot of people who work in this neighborhood comment on somebody I was talking to this weekend said they'd like to move the tree in the middle of Central Park. It would create some new commerce. And I said, well, why would one want to create commerce in Central Park?
You can put it on a big truck.
The traveling Christmas tree. There you go.
That's a good idea, but of course it makes traffic pretty intense in our neighborhood. But that's okay. We still love it.
It's all about us, isn't it?
Meanwhile, back inside Studio 1A, I'm Katie Couric along with Matt Lauer and Al Roker. And coming up in this half hour, the Reverend Billy Graham. He's been listed as one of the 10 most admired men in the world 41 times in the last 53 years. Danny, you were second runner-up. He'll be along in just a few minutes with some of his thoughts on where we are as a nation as we head into the new millennium.
Remember about a year ago, Peter Greenberg, our travel editor, came here and we sat down and we said, it's already too late to make your plans for the millennium. Everything's booked, everything's sold out.
I know. Isn't it amazing how that has all changed?
Never mind. There are still places you can go, still flights you can catch, and Peter's back would talk about some of those travel deals coming up. And later on, our special correspondent, Sarah Ferguson, is here with a profile of the remarkable Italian tenor, Andrea Bocelli. You may have heard him sing the internationally popular Time to Say Goodbye, which is in a lot of Las Vegas hotel ads right now.
Also, every week here, Willard Scott introduces us to people who are celebrating the century mark, their 100th birthday. So with the end of the century at hand, Willard this week will profile some of the men and women who have lived through the last 100 years. But first, Ann Curry has the morning's top news stories. Ann, good morning again.
Good morning again to you, Katie, Matt, and Al, and to all of you this morning. Today, U.S. officials will meet with the father of 6-year-old Elian Gonzalez in a move to settle the custody dispute between the U.S. and Cuba. And sources tell NBC News that Juan Gonzalez will provide documents to bolster his claim to have his son returned. On Sunday, Elian Gonzalez visited Disney World in Orlando, Florida. As he got on a boat ride, Elian asked, "Is the boat going to sink?" He was rescued at sea on Thanksgiving Day. Time magazine is reporting that teenage gunmen Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold wanted to kill hundreds of students at Columbine High School so that they could achieve Hollywood immortality. In 5 videos made in the weeks before the assault, the boys also expressed regret that their parents would have to live with their murderous actions. New evidence from the Census Bureau today that life has changed dramatically in the last 100 years. In 1900, there were just 36 highway traffic fatalities nationwide, compared to more than 41,000 every year now. Divorces have skyrocketed from 200,000 to more than 19 million. And while 2 million immigrants came from Italy and 50,000 came from Mexico in 1900, today those numbers are reversed. Another debate for the 6 Republican presidential candidates tonight in Iowa. Texas Governor George W. Bush leads in the polls in Iowa, but even party leaders say he appeared uncomfortable in earlier debates. Publisher Steve Forbes is second in the polls as the candidates head into the Iowa caucuses next month. And you can see tonight's debate live, hosted by NBC's Tom Brokaw, beginning at 8 Eastern Time on MSNBC on cable. Hearings open in Maryland today on whether Linda Tripp will have to face trial for secretly recording her telephone conversation with Monica Lewinsky. Maryland law prohibits secret phone tapping. A federal judge in New Mexico could decide today if Wen-Ho Lee should be freed on bail. The fired nuclear scientist was arrested last week and charged with improperly handling atomic weapon secrets. But federal investigators admit there is no proof that Wen-Ho Lee was a spy for China. A new phase begins today in the investigation into the crash of Egypt Air Flight 990. A big salvage ship heads for the crash scene today to try to bring up all the wreckage possible from the bottom of the ocean. Investigators hope to find new clues as to what caused the crash. In Worcester, Massachusetts, some closure for families and friends of 6 firefighters who were killed in a fire. The body of the last of the 6 firefighters who died was removed from the building over the weekend. Workers are now demolishing the burned-out warehouse, and there will be a funeral today for one of the fallen firefighters. Today is expected to be the busiest day of the year for the U.S. Postal Service. It has hired some 40,000 temporary workers to move mail and packages during the busy holiday season. And it was a busy weekend for Tom Hanks at the box office. Toy Story 2, with Hanks providing the voice of Sheriff Woody, took in $18.7 million, according to industry estimates. His prison drama, The Green Mile, was right behind, and Deuce Bigalow came in third. It is now 8:05 and time for the weather and Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by ToyTime.com. Everything for kids in no time.
And good morning. We've got a couple of little Christmas elves here. Who's this?
This is Grace. Grace is 7 months old.
Oh, she's beautiful. Where are you guys from?
A little outside of Philadelphia.
All right. Well, Grace wants to grab the mic, but she's all bundled up. Well, thank you for coming down, sweetheart. And we got another cutie over here. Who's this? Kristen. How old is Kristen?
6 months old.
Oh, my gosh. Where are you guys from?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Yes.
That's a big state. Oh, thank you. And this lady here said, my baby's right here.
Yeah, she's 19.
Wow, where are you guys from?
Ponchatoula, Louisiana.
All right, well, thanks for coming down. Let's check your weather and see what's happening. And down in the southeast, we've got some pretty good storms working their way through the Gulf Coast. It is going to be wet down there, and we're looking for wet weather moving into the northeast as well. Later today, snow in the northern Rockies, wet weather in the northwest as well. Fog in the upper Mississippi Valley, thunderstorms through the Gulf Coast. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Well, we've got all kinds of moisture coming in off the Pacific. You can see it on our satellite map here. Kind of looks like cotton. That is cold air moving in over the top of us. And boy, is it going to be coming down with snow in the Cascades. Heavy snow for today, 12 to 20 inches of fresh powder at past levels by tonight. In the valley, mostly rain showers. We could see some snowflakes down to the floor, but they'll melt. Any accumulation only above 1,000 feet.
You gave up going to Disney World for us? Was it worth it?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. What's your name? What's your name?
Patty.
Patty, well, thanks for coming down. We'll put on mouse ears on Katie and Matt when they come out. All right, let's head back inside to Katie.
Thank you, Al. The Reverend Billy Graham is one of the most recognized and respected men on earth. He's preached the gospel to more live audiences than anyone in history, been an advisor to the last 10 U.S. presidents, and earned the unofficial title of America's pastor. As we all careen toward the year 2000, we want to take a minute to ask the Reverend Billy Graham for his thoughts on the coming century. Billy Graham, good morning.
Thank you, Katie. It's a privilege to be here.
Well, it's so nice to see you. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
Feeling fine.
Are you?
I still have a few problems that older men get, like Parkinson's, and it slows me down a little bit like the Pope, except his is much worse than me.
But all in all, you're feeling good?
Yes, I feel fine.
Well, it's so nice to see you.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here.
Let me talk about the apocalypse, because, as you know, discussion of that and the end of the world has been a part of the American psyche and Western culture for centuries.
Right.
As we approach this new millennium, what do you make of all that?
Well, I don't think the end of the world is here. I think that it's going to come only when God makes that decision, because even Jesus said he didn't know. He said, only my heavenly Father knows when the end of the age will take place. But he said it is coming, and he's coming back himself as the Messiah.
What do you think of all these people with their very dire predictions about what the future holds?
Well, I think that some of them are right, because the Scripture does teach that before that takes place, that we're going to have many upheavals, many earthquakes, and all these disasters that we read about, wars and rumors of wars. If they read the 24th chapter of Matthew and the 21st chapter of Luke, they'll find the whole list there that Jesus gave, the signs that his coming is near.
And in fact, you have been quoted recently as saying some of the man-made and natural disasters we have witnessed in recent years are of biblical proportions. And to paraphrase Charles Dickens, that in a way, these are the worst of times.
The worst of times and the best of times. I think that we're living in a period of tremendous economic prosperity in America, with great poverty abroad in many countries.
And in this country.
And in this country as well. We read about the homeless people on the streets and so forth. But I think that this is the best of times as far as the United States is concerned. And I think that we ought to be very humble before God and thank him for what we do have in comparison to other parts of the world.
So in terms of our economic situation, it's a good one. What about our spiritual reserves?
I think that our spiritual reserves are getting better among young people. I think of what you talked about, the Columbine, had a tremendous impact on people, both for good and bad, among young people. And young people today are searching. I was at Harvard to give a couple speeches recently, and they came out, they packed everything. And they never asked a hostile question during question period. They asked searching questions. They were searching. Faculty were there. It was filled. And Mr. Gergen, who's one of the editors of U.S. News and World Report, was there, and he said that it was he wrote in this week's issue of U.S. News that this was an indication that there's a great spiritual search on the part of young people.
They're grasping for something.
Grasping for something.
What do you make of, though, when you mention Columbine, and we just spent some time this morning talking about these two young men and how they very cold-heartedly, yet jokingly planned this massacre?
I believe that they're under the, of course, I believe that there's another power in the world, and that's the devil. And I believe they were under the supernatural power of evil. And evil is personified in Satan himself, and he has many demons at his command. So we not only have God and the angels, but we have the devil and his demons. And they have tremendous power, and they infiltrate our young people as well as older people and cause these horrible crimes and wars and all sorts of things.
What kinds of tools do you think that Satan uses here on earth that adversely influence people?
Well, there are many tools that he uses. He uses divisions between husband and wife, which lead them to fight and divorce. And he uses, not all, but he uses what we've seen in Columbine and these two young men that dreamed up all this stuff and wrote it all down, apparently, or taped it. And these are evil. That's evil. Nothing but the devil could think of that.
You have, as I mentioned, Billy Graham. I know you don't like to be called Reverend Graham. I always feel funny. Billy.
Just Billy.
Talked to presidents in the past and have served as their spiritual counselor. Do you plan to continue that role?
Oh, I'm getting too old, I think, to
you think?
do much. But
have any of the candidates, for example, talked to you? I'm just curious.
Yes, I know most of them as friends of years past. For example, George Bush and I have been, George W. and I have been friends since he was a teenager. And I've spent many vacations with them at Kennebunkport and in Mexico and places like that. And we're very close to the Bush family, and we're great admirers of the Bush family. That doesn't mean that I'm endorsing George W. Bush, because I know some of the others too. John McCain's father was a great friend of mine. In fact, when John was in prison, I went to Honolulu twice to see his father, who was commander-in-chief of all the military forces in the Far East and had prayer with him. And we got on our knees and prayed for John in that Hanoi Hilton. I've never told John that.
You should. I'm sure he'd be very interested to hear that. As people watch and as we all sort of, as I mentioned earlier, careen towards this next century, what do you think is the most important thing for people to keep in mind?
I think they need to keep in mind that God is in control, that he has not abdicated, that God is still a God of love, and that God is going to intervene in history, and we're going to have a long period of hundreds and thousands of years of peace, and all of this wickedness and godlessness and everything that we see today that we don't like is going to disappear, and we're going to have a glorious period in the future. And I have my hope centered in what God is going to do.
Reverend Billy Graham, thank you so much for coming in as always. It's wonderful to see you.
Thank you, Katie.
Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year.
And the same to you.
And all our best to your wife as well
Thank you.
and the rest of your family.
Thank you.
Thanks, Billy. Up next, last-minute New Year's Eve travel deals. And still to come this morning on Today, Sarah Ferguson profiles the blind Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli. But first, these messages.
How's life? Well, Blitzen's back is much better. Now he doesn't have to drag that silly sleigh around. I told him about ToyTime.com. It's so easy. You choose, and they send it. And the prices are so much better. So now he's more relaxed. We're not locking horns anymore. We have time for other things.
Like reindeer games?
Ah, that's a good one. You idiot. ToyTime.com now gives you free shipping and $20 free.
Worried about Y2K? Get a new Buick. Why? Let's say the city goes dark. Buick's headlights come on automatically. Very clever. No heat? Dual climate control. So get cozy in your comfy power seat with your portable TV and watch the test pattern. During Buick's Not to Worry event, get a Century 2000 Special Edition with a Millennium offer worth $2,000, just in time for the year 2000. No blow dryer? Sunroof.
This Christmas, give her diamonds from Kay Jewelers. Diamonds hand-selected for extraordinary color and clarity. Choose from Kay's diamond pendant selection starting from $99.95. With diamonds from Kay Jewelers, you will make her very happy.
There's nothing like the fragrance of a woman, especially if that's all she's wearing.
White diamonds from Elizabeth Taylor.
I never forget a woman in diamonds.
A brilliant gift with a $47.50 White Diamonds fragrance purchase.
Where will you be when your grandson gets his first taste of the ocean? When man walks on Mars? When your children want to discover their heritage? Life is filled with moments you don't want to miss. That's why if you have high cholesterol and heart disease, you should know about Zocor. Zocor is proven to help save lives by reducing the risk of a heart attack. So where will you be tomorrow? That could depend on what you do today. When diet and exercise aren't enough, talk to your doctor about adding Zocor. Zocor is a prescription medication and is not right for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems, because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Zocor, and about any medicines you are taking. For more information, talk to your doctor or call. Zocor, it's your future. Be there.
Everybody in the family loves watching the kids grow up, and they do it through pictures.
Grandma and Grandpa.
And they love getting pictures of the girls.
Baby and Papa Jack.
Pictures like this when we're having fun together.
Uncle Chase and Uncle Bob.
Probably the best pictures of Alex are the ones with food on her face.
Yeah.
Uncle Matt.
We take the film to Walmart because we're in there, every week anyway.
And Aunt Lisa.
We just drop our film off and we go shopping, and it's just very convenient.
Bring the stories of your life to Walmart Film Developing.
It's just important for the family to be able to see the girls grow up.
There are only 2.5 weeks left until New Year's Eve, and despite all the millennium hype, if you hadn't yet made your travel plans, there is still some time. Today, travel editor Peter Greenberg has the lowdown on that. Peter, good morning.
Good morning, Matt.
Is it deja vu or is it just me? We sat in these chairs about a year ago and basically said, if you didn't make your plans by now, you're in bad shape. What happened?
Well, there's a great deal of difference between a booked room and a blocked room, and the travel industry got greedy. They priced themselves out of the market, and people decided, you know what, I'll stay home.
So this was all about money, in your opinion? It wasn't about people finally saying, wait a second, this Y2K bug could be real and terrorist threats and all that stuff?
I think the Y2K bug became a catalytic move at the end, but the underlying reason was price. It just got too expensive.
So let's talk about some of the destinations that we wanted to book a year ago and were afraid to book or didn't think we could. New York City, still available?
Still available. There's a hotel right here in New York called the Doral Park Avenue. Now, a couple of months ago, it was $500 a night, 3-night minimum. Now, if you go on December 29th and 30th, it's $279 a night and $399 on New Year's Eve.
Still a 3-night minimum.
Yes, but still a good deal now.
But a great savings. Las Vegas. Now, this is where a lot of the shows are taking place,
right.
and it's supposed to be a great center for the millennium. Can you still get in there?
You can. Remember, they're expecting 200,000 people there, but they have over 100,000 rooms. There is still space available. It's very fluid right now, but it's going to happen.
How about traveling to Hawaii?
Well, that's the big funny one, because we talked about this. We said, Maui, forget it, right? If you go through a tour package or a tour wholesaler like Pleasant Hawaiian, listen to this deal. From Los Angeles, for about a week, they'll give you the airfare and a condominium for $1,190. If you do the math, that's nothing.
We were talking about hotel rates that were that without the airfare.
Per night.
What if you don't go through a package, or can you still book a flight to Hawaii? Are they still available?
They are still available, but they'll be more expensive. You got to watch out for that.
Skiing. Now, obviously, if you look out west, they're still looking for a little snow, but what are the availabilities there?
Well, they're starting to come down in price there again. In Lake Tahoe, the Embassy Suites has a deal for 3 nights for $399. Well, you know, a couple weeks ago, it was $599 with a 5-night minimum, and a lot of these resorts are now throwing in free lift tickets.
Well, and I should mention, what happens if you wait another week here and they really start to panic? Do these prices come down even further?
Law of supply and demand. Yep, watch out. In about a week, it's going to get even lower.
Let's take a look at some airfares. What are the best bargains out there that we should look for?
Well, we found one to Paris on American Airlines. New York to Paris, $588 round trip. But the most interesting thing is for me, is the best bargain of all is TWA. If you leave on December 29th from New York, round trip from New York to Lisbon, $356.
Okay, but
you can't even do the New York to Washington shuttle for $356.
But let's think about the story I covered in the first half hour this morning. The State Department's warning to Americans traveling abroad. Do you think that's going to have a sobering impact on some of these people looking for these bargains?
It probably will, and it may drive the prices up a little more domestically because people say, maybe I won't go to Lisbon, I'll stay home. But you know what? Just pack some common sense. I'm not going to worry about Lisbon.
Isn't it true that a lot of the airlines, Peter, are cutting back on their flights? They aren't going to be flying as many routes and as many flights as they would on a normal day?
Well, we reported earlier on that Virgin Atlantic said they were going to ground the whole fleet on December 31st. Some little small airlines like Frontier, they're not even going to operate after 9 o'clock at night.
Why is Virgin Atlantic grounding its fleet?
Well, it's not Y2K, it's Y-no-K. Nobody's going. They decided, why operate the plane? It's more expensive just to fuel it. But interestingly enough, if you really want to find out about cancellations, ask Jane Garvey, the FAA administrator. When we interviewed
planning
her,
that big trip.
Yeah, she announced no problems with Y2K. I want to fly from Washington to San Francisco. She booked a flight on American. They canceled. And so because nobody was showing up.
But that raises a question. If we have reservations, should we be concerned that our flights are still going to be canceled?
We should have concerns because, once again, if they have 30 people booked on the flight, they might cancel. Actually, by the way, she booked the flight, it canceled. She booked another flight, it canceled. She's now on a 3rd flight on American. We checked last week. There are only 35 people booked on that flight, most of them members of the media trying to cover her flying.
And by the way, to end on, your travel tip for the savvy is the best time to travel? The week after.
That's right, because if you think nobody's going now, even fewer are going that 1st and 2nd week in January.
Peter Greenberg, good luck. Happy holidays if I don't see you.
Same to you.
We're back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.
Americans love food. Always have, always will. It's part of our culture. You can't go anywhere without being reminded, excited, or enticed by a variety of things to eat. It's no wonder so many Americans are considerably overweight. But if you're serious about losing weight and willing to make the effort to change your diet, Zenical can help. Zenical is the only prescription fat blocker. It actually blocks about 1/3 of the fat in the food you eat from ever being digested. So if you avoid temptation and start eating reduced calorie meals, Zenical can help you lose weight. And that's pretty enticing too. So if you're considerably overweight, at least 30 pounds, depending on height, ask your doctor for more information.
Since Zenical blocks about 1/3 of the fat in the food you eat, you may experience gas with oily discharge, increased bowel movements, an urgent need to have them, and an inability to control them, particularly after meals containing more fat than recommended. Zenical shouldn't be taken if you are pregnant, nursing, have food absorption problems, reduced bile flow, or taking cyclosporin. Zenical reduces the absorption of some vitamins. Therefore, a daily multivitamin is recommended.
We've been celebrating Christmas together for about 10 years.
We kind of got our own little group thing going on.
We usually get ideas from each other.
A lot of times we spread out, and sometimes we stay together and just go down aisle by aisle. Once we get the shopping done, then we have our wrapping party.
Wrapping party.
Walmart is great at Christmas time. It's convenient, it's affordable, and you can find just about anything for anybody. She's got to have it. It's a tradition. Every year it's the same thing.
Three amigos go to Walmart.
Now at Zales, celebrate the new millennium with diamonds for only $99. Dazzling diamond earrings, elegant diamond rings, even diamond heart pendants, each just $99. A pretty great price for something that lasts a lifetime. And with any purchase of $99 or more, you can also get this rose box with classic diamond earrings for just $29 at Zales stores or shop online at zales.com.
Dr. Ye? Dr. Ye. Have you ever used one of those shampoos and conditioners all in the same bottle?
Yes, I have.
What'd you think of it?
I like it. Yeah, I use Pert. You have one in your...
Yeah, I got it right there.
That's the one I use. I like it.
He's the ultimate superhero. But to defeat Claw, he'll have to be faster and better than ever. Halt! In the name of the law! Disney's Inspector Gadget, rated PG. Now on video and Disney DVD.
3 minutes from now, a heart attack victim will be rushed into this emergency room. Medication will be injected. IV fluids will be needed. The patient will be protected from infection. Breathing will be assisted. And one more life will be saved.
Mrs. Hanson? Yes. Hi, I'm Dr. Moore. Her husband's doing fine. Oh, I'm so glad.
Thanks to advanced medical techniques and a material we call plastic.
Gina Davis, Lisa Huber, and Kenny Rogers on Live.
Never give up, never surrender.
From out-of-work actors
By the sons of Warvan, I shall avenge you.
to outer space heroes.
You will save us.
We are actors, not astronauts.
DreamWorks Pictures invites you to bravely go
Hi, little guy.
where no comedy has gone before. Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Galaxy Quest.
Oh, that's not right.
Rated PG. Starts Saturday, December 25th, everywhere.
Jill has been a delight to have in our family. She keeps my life even busier than it was before. So it's very important that a diaper does the job it's supposed to do. White Cloud diapers have worked great for us. And since they're only at Walmart, I know they're a great value. White Cloud's breathable sides allow her skin to stay more comfortable. I like White Cloud's slim fit and those baby Looney Tunes characters on the grip tabs. With as many diapers as we go through, it's great to find a premium diaper at such a reasonable price. Even with diapers, she still deserves the best.
This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8:26. Our current temperature, 37 degrees. I'm Brenda Braxton along with Debbie Duran. Here's what's happening. Police have a person of interest behind bars in the murder of a Milwaukee police officer's husband. William Dubois is being held on a parole violation. Officers are now looking for a second person of interest. He's 18-year-old Jason Willey. A lawsuit over a controversial sex offender website gets underway in Salem today. The proposed website would post the pictures and addresses of about 8,500 registered sex offenders. The legislature authorized the Oregon State Police to put that information on the internet, but the judge put it on hold after a group of offenders and their families sued. And still no sign this morning of a snowboarder missing on Mount Baker. Heavy snow has been hampering the search. The missing 24-year-old man is a sailor from the Whidbey Island Naval Air Station. Friends last saw him on Friday. Sunday, rescuers searched the area, and they'll be back on the mountain today. Now with a look at the Monday commute, here's Bill Diaz.
Thank you, Brenda. On Highway 217 southbound, they've cleared that earlier wreck near the Progress overpass, so things are looking better there. Sunset Highway also has thinned out radically, looking pretty good at Highway 217. On I-5 northbound, we've had some heavy traffic right near Highway 217, still heavy from about Taylor's Ferry to Terwilliger. For the Les Schwab Today Show traffic report, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecaster is Bruce Sussman.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. Here's First Alert Live Doppler 8000 radar beam cruising right across the Coast Range where we've got some snow going on. Be prepared for snowy travel if you're headed that direction. Also over the Cascades, some snow. That will be heavy today. Meanwhile, showers mostly in the form of liquid rain falling in the Willamette Valley. Now, here's a look at our satellite map right now, our Pacific satellite. As we fly up to Oregon, we'll get you an idea of what's going on. You see all the stuff that looks like cotton? That is cold air that has moved in over the top of Oregon and Washington. That means low-level snow, basically down to about 1,000 feet. It won't last long, though. Warmer air is on the way. And with our temperatures in the upper 30s now, any snow that does fall will melt, except the Cascades. Heavy snow there today. In the valley, it's going to be mostly liquid rain with highs in the 40s today. Brenda?
Thanks a lot, Bruce. We'll be back with another news update just about 25 minutes from now. Have a good morning.
The seasons march on. That's why people who depend on the weather depend on News Channel 8's First Alert Storm Team. Backed by the power of live Doppler 8000, Joe Satilli and Matt Safino lead the Northwest's largest, most experienced team of forecasters. The First Alert Storm Team, only on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
Around here, you can't buy a reputation for quality. You have to earn it, the way Wall did. Wall invented the first electric clipper 80 years ago, right here in America's heartland. And they're still the choice of millions of professionals worldwide. Today, Wall makes products for home, too. A whole line of clippers, trimmers, and shavers, all backed by the Wall family commitment to innovation and value. That's what being a leader is all about. Wall, bringing quality and value home.
Tonight, Jay's all new with comedy's wild man, Robin Williams. Also this week, Sharon Stone, Gina Davis, Jodie Foster, and Tim Allen. Then Conan's got Salma Hayek and Roberto Benigni tonight.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling, ring, ting, tingling.
8:30 now on this Monday morning. It's the 13th day of December, 1999. It's chilly but beautiful morning here in the Northeast. And you're looking at Santa's helpers on this Monday morning. That's Courtney Alsbrook, absolutely, and Kim Meltzer. And they are collecting toys as part of our 6th annual Holiday Toy Drive. And already, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we have collected over 50,000 toys. And we want to thank some of the people who helped donate those. VTech Toys, Nyland Trucks, and Krispy Kreme, as well as Usborne Educational Books. We appreciate all the help and support we're getting. And of course, Courtney and Kim appreciate it as well.
I like their antlers. Very cute. We also want to personally thank a couple of people this morning. Becky Caruso, for example, of Toys R Us. Hi, Becky. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, you've got a mic, so I don't need to use this. Tell me about what Toys R Us has done for the toy drive.
Well, Toys R Us and ToysRUs.com has donated 1,000 toys to the toy drive, and we're delighted to be partnering with the Today Show. The toys that we're donating today are going to the Neighborhood Youth and Family Services and the Puerto Rican Family Services right here in New York.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Well, thank you, and thanks
you.
to all the people at Toys R Us for their generosity. Thanks, Becky. You've got a guest, too.
Yeah, this is Sheila Arnold. She's with the Discovery Channel.
Actually,
and tell
you
me,
have 3 guests.
I know. Tell me what you've donated and to whom.
Well, we've donated toys to the Northern Lights Alternative group of kids that are ages 12 to 17 from our stores, the Discovery Channel stores, Discovery.com. We've also donated toys from our Discovery Channel Exploration toy line, which you see a robot over there that can go. This is a Maricoy monkey, and it is actually life-size. If you stand him up, he's almost as big as Katie. He's 5 feet tall. He's usually found in Brazil, or you can find him in...
That is really cool.
Thank you
Can I
so
just
much
put
for your help. We really
you
appreciate it.
certainly
Of course,
can.
that helps out our
really good.
That helps out our
heavy.
desire to get toys for older age children too. So thank you so
Excuse
much.
me, Becky.
Sheila.
I don't mean to
We
upstage you with
appreciate
the
it.
monkey.
We hope that our toys are going to help educate, entertain, and really put smiles on the faces of the kids this year and this holiday season.
Thanks again, Sheila. We appreciate it. Hey, coming up in this half hour, our new special correspondent, Sarah Ferguson, is going to introduce us to and give us a profile of Andrea Bocelli, the Italian tenor.
But before we get to all of that, we're going to have a check of the weather. Hi there. Check of the weather from Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Walt Disney Home Video Inspector Gadget, the quirky comedy adventure with 1,000 moving parts.
We got a bunch of old babies here. Let's see. First of all, who's this? Kirsten. How old's Kirsten?
She's 15 months.
15 months. And then who do we have back here?
This is Jordan James Vasquez.
All right. How old?
She is 7 months.
And who's this in the little leopard outfit?
This is Emmanuel Grace Tolsky from Philadelphia. Her daddy's sleeping in...
All right. And who's this back here?
Catherine Eileen Vasquez from Doylestown, PA.
Well, thank you very much. And not to be, we've got another baby here. who's 75. What's your name? What's your name?
I'm Ruth O'Neill, and my husband's going to be 75 next week.
And you've got, oh, you married a younger man.
And I have my 4, yeah.
All right.
I have 4 daughters
We're here?
I brought all of them here.
All right. And,
from the Chesapeake Bay.
And you know what? You got another 75-year-old pal right over here. She's 75. What's your name, ma'am?
Vera Dean.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Where are you from?
Paris, Texas.
Well, thank you for coming down. We appreciate that. All right. I think we covered just about everything here. Babies and 75. Wow, that's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening. I hear Santa in your neck of the woods.
Well, it is a Monday morning, and it's been wet for most of us so far. A wet commute as showers continue to come in from the west, and so does cold air. In fact, up in the Cascades, not a good day for driving. Heavy snow and a winter storm warning in effect. In the Willamette Valley, things look a little better. Mostly rain showers. We could see a few snowflakes mixed in, but only light accumulations at 1,000 feet or higher, maybe a dusting. That's really about it. Temperatures today in the mid-40s.
Ball for the year 2000, not to be outdone. In Clay's Corner, what are you guys doing for the new year?
Possum drop.
You're not actually dropping a possum.
No, just lower
You
the
lower
possum
it.
slowly.
Okay, that's good,
Slowly.
because we don't want to hurt the possum. All right, let's head over to Katie.
All right, Al, thank you very much. Coming up next, our special correspondent, Sarah Ferguson, profiles singer Andrea Bocelli. But first, this is Today on NBC.
Monet, Picasso, Matisse, Chagall. These are just some of the world-famous artists whose major works of art you'll be able to see at the Portland Art Museum, November 21st through January 23rd in Monet to More, the Millennium Gift of Sara Lee Corporation. Portland is one of only 3 museums in the U.S. honored to host this spectacular collection. For more information and tickets, call 226-2811. Presented by Fred Meyer and News Channel 8.
Do you like soup? Me too. To make a great vegetable soup, you need at least 11 vegetables. Be so sweet, they taste like fresh kisses. Simmer it slowly with a lot of love. It takes time to make my thick country vegetable soup, but if you don't have time, I will come and do it for you, because now you have 18 of my soups at your supermarket. So take me home with you. I'm no trouble, really.
'Tis the season when Chinook Winds Casino presents Shop Till You Drop. Your chance to save on great gifts and maybe win big bucks, too. Just pick up a gift bag at Chinook Winds. Inside will be a map of Lincoln City businesses offering discounts and money-saving coupons. Visit them for great buys and entries for a $10,000 gift certificate. Shop Till You Drop and save money, too, at Chinook Winds Casino on the beach in Lincoln City.
Howdy. Go to petstore.com to get 4 months of pet supplies free.
The Italian tenor Andrea Bocelli is known for his concerts of romantic ballads and operatic arias. Well, he's just made his American debut in a full-length opera at the Michigan Opera Theater. And that's where our special correspondent, Sarah Ferguson, caught up with him. Sarah, great to have you here. Nice to see you.
Matt. I know. Well, it's great to be here.
We're happy to have you.
For those who don't know Andrea Bocelli, listen up. His is an amazing story. This is only the second time in his life that Bocelli's had the leading role in an opera, and clearly this was a much greater challenge than just singing in a stadium. He sang it all over the world. The song that made him an international star just a little more than 2 years ago. Now it's his turn to say a real goodbye, at least for this moment, as he tries his first love, opera. The opera is a love story, Werther, by the French composer Massenet. Bocelli plays the lead, a young man who loves a woman he cannot have, Charlotte, played by acclaimed mezzo-soprano Denise Graves. Now I've got to get used to this extraordinary jump to opera. Why did you want to do this?
Well, opera is my first passion. And from where I was child, I love opera, only opera. For me, it was like a dream to be on stage. And for me, it was a big challenge.
A very big challenge, because Bocelli is blind. But it's almost impossible to tell. He's rehearsed so much. Yet if you look closely as he takes a book from the shelf, opens the piano, kisses his leading lady, you can see him feeling his way. You have to sing in another language. You also have to know exactly where you're going.
When I do an opera, I have put on stage every my energies, because I have calculated many things all together.
Right.
This is like when I go on stage with Charlotte. We do the same road,
right,
and very slow like this.
Right.
And then we stand up here to the column.
Right, column.
There is a little flirt here,
all
back the column.
We won't do that now. Right? During 4 weeks of rehearsal, Bocelli memorized the stage. He learned how to move and how to use the voices of the other performers as a guide. And sticks taped to the floor cue him where to stop. But his blindness is not a subject he wants to dwell on.
I know a very beautiful expression in English.
Okay.
Where there is a will, there is a way.
But
if there is not a will, of course, it's difficult to find a way.
When you said you always loved opera, what age? I mean, 1, or when you in the womb?
No. My mother tells me that when I was very, very small, small, no? Piccolo.
Yes.
Very young.
Small.
I cried very, very often. And she discovered, at a certain moment that I listened to music, I stopped to cry every time. And from that moment, probably I was one years old, and I began to listen opera music.
So a lot of the operas that you might sing now, you will probably remember from your childhood.
No, because okay, some yes, some not. Hey, now.
Amore, ciao.
Bocelli's parents often played opera, and he still learns music by listening to a recording over and over again. He was born with glaucoma and had many eye operations as a child. By 12, he was permanently blind. But it didn't change his life much. He still rode horses, earned a law degree, and played in a piano bar to earn money for singing lessons. It's been a very courageous move, because you've put yourself right up there on the stage saying, yes, I want to do this.
In my life, I think to have had always courage. The only place where I don't have courage is on stage, unfortunately.
You'll spend your life on the stage.
It's really difficult for me. In past, I've suffered very, very much. But
is it stage fright?
Terrible.
But then you seem to be happier with opera than you do with the other kind
of singing. Yes, but I'm happy to think that I have to do an opera, but I am not the just person for this, because I'm really the most nervous person on stage. I don't know. I have to find a solution.
But your whole career for your future is with the stage. So how are you going to manage?
Who knows? Who knows?
One thing we do know is that Bocelli's career is the stuff of history. It began just 6 short years ago when another Italian singer, Zucchero, asked the unknown Bocelli to join him on stage. From there, it has been one album after another. 2 pop, 2 operatic arias, all at the top of the charts. He's sung at the Vatican, for the Pope, and at a fundraiser for President Clinton. With his just-released 5th album, Sacred Arias, he occupies the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd spots on the classical chart. He's #1 on the world chart as well. And when he sang at an entertainment industry benefit a few weeks ago, it was obvious who his most ardent fans still are. Now, you are known throughout America and throughout the world as being a huge sex symbol for many women.
Hey, come on.
Yeah, come on, talk to me.
You're talking to me?
Yeah, right. Bocelli's schedule is daunting. He still plays the piano to relax and always has his children, 5-year-old Amos and 3-year-old Matteo, with him, and his wife, Enrica. Probably his best protection from the critics, whose reviews of him in this opera have not been favourable. Do you ever read the press criticisms?
I read everything, but yes. I read everything, but only at the end of the production. There is another very nice expression in English that I learned. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Bocelli need not worry about the critics if fans buy tickets for opera as they have for his other concerts. And opera in America may have a new life. All 6 performances here were sold out.
Wow.
The opera is worth seeing, and if you'd like to do that, you can see it on the internet, on the Global Music Network or GMN.com on December 14th and December 22nd.
It's
Matt.
amazing. He doesn't know much English, but he knows a couple of key expressions, doesn't he? Like where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way.
And with a very mischievous smile when he says it, too.
Exactly. I should ask you this. You've been interviewed so many times. How do you like asking the questions?
Oh, I'm really getting a kick out of it. I love it. I've got to learn a lot there, Matt. You've got to help me out.
No, it was a great interview. It was fun meeting him, and it was fun watching you.
I was very, very nervous.
Well, you did a great job. Sarah Ferguson, nice to have you here.
Thank you, Matt.
And we're back with much more on Today. Right after this.
A free supermarket ham sounds good, but is it something you'd be proud to serve? Because this holiday calls for something truly fabulous, like the incredible honey-baked ham, the finest premium ham guaranteed, smoked for hours and hours over hardwood chips, then smothered in that famous crackling sweet glaze, a family tradition for over 40 years. So why have ordinary when it's so easy to serve extraordinary? The honey-baked ham, only at the Honey Baked Ham store.
Hello, I'm Doc Wagwell with a dynamic dog fact. A dog's nasty snacking habits will never give him a healthy skin or coat. It's true. That's why I'm introducing new Wagwell's treats, made with real beef dogs naturally love. Plus vitamins for healthy skin and a shiny coat. Left to their own devices, dogs cannot choose a smart snack. Voila. So you have to do it for them. For healthy skin and a shiny coat, treat your dog right with new Wagwells.
Carl Grieve.
Of all the wonders of the world, I wonder mostly of beauty and grace. And of all the wonder we can hold in our hands, I am mostly amazed by things unique.
Carl Grieve.
And of all the timeless things of beauty, I wonder at how they came to be. Where in the world will the wonder come from next?
Carl Grieve. For fine jewelry and gifts by the world's most gifted designers. And for the wonder of it all.
Rosie 105.
I wish the real world would just stop hassling me.
Rosie 105.
Man, I feel like a woman.
best variety of the 80s, 90s, and today.
Rosie 105.
Every week here on Today, Willard Scott brings us the names and faces of folks who are celebrating their 100th birthday. The century mark is obviously a major milestone. So paying it close attention.
We're
Thank you
glued.
guys.
We are glued.
And with the century itself about to end, Willard has sat down with a few who have seen it all these last 100 years. Today, the story of 100-year-old Beatrice Allinger of Charleston, South Carolina.
Beatrice Hardy Allinger was born on May 13th in 1899. Along with her parents and her brother and sister, she lived in Indiana and Ohio in the early part of the 20th century. They had no electricity, no telephones, no running water, and no refrigeration.
We had that cellar. Grandmama and Grandpapa had that cellar that was just as good. It kept milk sweet.
Did you all have indoor plumbing?
Oh, no, indeed not. We went out to the gate that went into the chicken yard, went through the chicken yard to the outhouse, where there was always a Sears catalog.
A Sears catalog. And you would read that.
Somebody said, you mean to say you read the catalog? And I said, I didn't say that that's what we had it out there for.
As a young girl, she traveled by horse and buggy. Then came her family's first automobile.
The Chevrolet that we got cost $400. It was a touring car and had curtains that you snapped onto the side when bad weather.
It had a crank, I guess, didn't it?
Oh, yes.
Did you know how to drive?
Yes, I did. I learned how.
She lived through events that most people living today have only read about in history books.
The first time I voted was the first time that women could vote.
In 1917, she began a courtship with Chauncey Allinger. They first met at a high school ball.
We went to the dance and had a marvelous time. And when we came out, the snow was coming down so fast that no streetcars were running. And we were across town from where I lived. And the four of us walked, I don't know how many miles, midnight, to get back.
Very romantic.
And that was the start of our romance.
From 1917 to 1919, they dated by corresponding because Chauncey was a lieutenant in the U.S. Army in the First World War.
We wrote all the time.
He wrote about his journey across the Atlantic Ocean, enduring rough seas and the danger of German submarines before arriving in France on July 5th, 1918. Beatrice sent a Bible with him to keep him safe. 4 years after he returned, they married, moved to Dayton, Ohio, and started a family. Then 7 years later, the Depression hit.
All we had was $14
a week.
a week.
What did things cost back in the 30s?
Well, you didn't buy clothes. You made over hand-me-downs. Bread must have been about 5 cents.
She taught English and sewing at night school to help make ends meet.
This is NBC.
In 1940, Beatrice saw television for the first time, and like everybody else, she was impressed.
It was the most exciting thing that happened.
With all the inventions that have taken place, is there one that stands out?
Oh, I think all of those that I saw for the first time. Like the Wright brothers, the first time they went up in a little old
They were from Dayton,
airplane.
weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Did you ever fly in an airplane?
4 years ago, my first airplane ride.
Is that right? At 96?
Yes. And I can't get enough of it now. I love it.
Until recently, she rode a bicycle and volunteered at a local grade school. Now she does cross-stitch, reads, and spends time with her family in South Carolina. Is there anything you haven't done that you'd like to do?
I'd like to operate a computer and know what I was doing.
As thrilled as she is with the world's changes, she wishes that some things could stay the same.
We need to get back to where we believe in God, in our country, and in the beliefs that our forefathers had. I believe that will happen one day.
For today, Willard Scott, NBC News, Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow, she is one incredibly dynamic 100-year-old lady.
And isn't it great to have Willard do these interviews?
Yeah.
He's perfect. He has such a great rapport.
He does. He does. He's a love, that Willard. Anyway, we'll be back in a moment. This is Today on NBC.
Get back out there and take care of business. Get out there. Hey, what are you laughing at? You ain't trying to play us all day. Coach what? Oh, fantastic.
Now US West Advanced PCS brings you email in the palm of your hand. Because when you really need to stay in touch, the simpler, the better.
What are you looking at? Here comes somebody.
Email to your phone from US West. Life's better here.
Stuart Little knows the importance of a great smile, but brushing and flossing aren't enough. You still need to see a dentist for regular checkups. Now there's an easy way to find a dentist online. With Smileworks.com, you're just a click away from finding a great dentist in your neighborhood. Smileworks.com can keep you smiling no matter who you are or what you eat.
Whoa.
I'm fine.
Visit Smileworks.com today. Please. And see Stuart Little in theaters this Friday.
I'm in a payphone. I'm not from here. I took my shopping bags when I turned around to grab the purse. The cab was gone. No, I didn't. I'm very calm, sir. I just left my wallet with $1,000 in the cab. It's all my cash. I have nothing. Excuse me? No, I didn't get the driver's name. You don't understand. I'm on vacation. Everything is in that cab.
I couldn't believe Monday had already arrived this morning when I woke up. I was bemoaning that fact, but this is a good way to start the week. We had a great show today.
You know, before you know it, it'll be Tuesday. We're going to do it all over again.
That is so profound.
Thank you.
We're so deep.
It's
Wednesday
amazing.
follows.
18 days till the end of the millennium.
I know, can you believe it?
And not a lot of days to shop for Christmas presents. What do you think?
Have a good day, everybody.
Gina Davis, Lisa Huber, and Kenny Rogers on Live.
Ma'am, you really need this policy. If you were to become
lifetime offer. Your home has been specially selected to model our aluminum siding.
Your Attorney General has found an effective way to prevent fraud against older consumers.
Don't come back. Don't call back. I may be over 65, but I wasn't born yesterday.
When in doubt, check it out. Call Attorney General Hardy Myers Consumer Hotline.
This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8:56. Our current temperature, 37 degrees. I'm Brenda Braxton along with Debbie Duran. Here's what's happening. Today, a judge in Salem will hear arguments about a sex offender website. The proposed website would post the pictures and addresses of about 8,500 registered sex offenders. The legislature authorized the Oregon State Police to put that information on the internet, but the judge put it on hold after a group of offenders and their families sued. In Vancouver, it's Christmas 19th century style. This marks the 175th consecutive year of Christmas celebrations at Fort Vancouver. It all started in 1824 when officers of the Hudson's Bay Company were building the fort. Historical interpreters wandered the grounds of the fort Sunday, explaining what life was like during the early days. It's an example of living history that appeals to kids and adults who get a feel for days gone by. The fort is open to the public during daylight hours, and it's free. Now with a look at a very wet and snowy, in some cases, forecast. Here's Bruce Sussman. Yeah, that's right, Brenda. Here's a look at First Alert Live Doppler 8000 radar. You can see some heavy showers showing up now just to the west of downtown Portland, right over the Sunset Highway. And at the top of the West Hills, we'd see a few snowflakes from this. Most of the snow will be confined to the Cascades, though. Let's take a look outside right now from our Northwest Skycam network. Our OMSI cam, you can see the dark clouds behind the city. That's the next scattered shower activity moving in. 37 degrees right now, according to our Instant Weather Network. Warming up quickly, though, as warmer air moves in by tomorrow. So this is a short-term event. Lots of snow in the Cascades today, mainly rain in the valley, with temperatures topping out in the 40s. Brenda? Thanks a lot, Bruce. We'll be back today at noon. Hope you can join us.
We had a rule in the Click House that you couldn't wake Mom and Dad up on Christmas morning till 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure we're all up by about 6 in the morning. Boy, at 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, it's Christmas time. We had rules that we opened one present at a time. We took turns, so everybody enjoyed everybody else's presents.
Remember the joy of opening presents? The Northwest News Channel 8 Great Toy Drive. Donate today and share that joy with a child. Sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Anyway, they're not really hip to the idea.
Who wants to win $1 million when you can win big money? 21 is coming to NBC.
Holiday crime. Do you look like an easy target?
We call this a pickpocket's delight.
What holiday crooks don't want you to know? Next, Oprah.
Today at 4 on Northwest News Channel 8.
Imagine smooth, beautiful skin without having to use a razor again. Millions of men and women are looking for permanent solutions for unwanted body hair. Now Laser's Edge brings you the latest in laser hair removal technology. You can have the smooth, soft skin you've always desired through an affordable technique that is safe, gentle, and long-lasting. Call now for more information or a free private consultation.